Hi, it's 23rd of September and I'm sitting here in front of my computer screen just contemplating a few things, and I just thought it'd be a good idea to speak to you directly rather than just posting something on my blog. Those of you who do visit the White Feather website will know that I very often put information on there that I think is going to be of interest, particularly to those of you that can think for yourselves and like to think outside the box, as it were. But I thought it'd be different and perhaps have more impact to speak to you directly. And well, where to start really? I guess this little talk is aimed not just at those that happen to be looking at this, the general public or anyone that's passing, as it were, but particularly to the spiritual fraternity, as I refer to them, and more directly to those that work and run large organisations, spiritual organisations such as the SNU, who purport to train mediums and run courses, development courses and events, and promote spiritualism and spiritual awareness and psychic awareness in the UK and beyond. Because I guess you must have contacts over quite an extensive area, not just in the UK. So my question to you is this: if you have contact with spirit, if your mediums can connect with the spirit world, you must know of the agenda that's unfolding here on this earth and has been for a long time now, a long time, to, well, how can I put it, give power and control to a few elite, as they like to think of themselves, individuals at the expense of the rest of us. You cannot, unless you walk around with your eyes closed, fail to notice what's happening in the world, the control mechanisms that are being put in place, the gradual elimination of cash, the control by the banks and media corporations to introduce electronic phenomena to police and monitor, to track people, all leading up eventually, of course, to the implant of microchips in humans. They're already doing it in animals, as you know. The spraying of our skies with chemicals, chemtrails, the poisoning or mass medication of our water with fluoride, the poisoning of our food with genetically modified crops, the various events that are designed to put fear into our minds, false flag events, genuine, some of them, terrorist attacks, manipulated wars. The list is endless. And I'm thinking to myself, well, am I the only one that sees these things? No, of course not. I know a lot of you out there do. But if I can see it and others can see it, then so can the spirit world. They can see it. They must know the agenda. They must be able to see things before we do. Otherwise, we wouldn't have demonstrations of clairvoyance and messages of guidance and help and warnings sometimes that come through about circumstances and events that have yet to happen. I know I'm a medium. I've given such messages. But I'm also well aware that my own guide, White Feather, is distinctly concerned about the way that life on earth is going, about what's happening and about the agenda to enslave the majority of the human race. And I say that word, enslavement, deliberately, because that's what's happening. And it's the, if you like, the elephant in the living room. It's the emperor's new clothes. It's there. You know, I can see it. And certain elements of the spirit world, those who have direct contact and concern with what happens here on earth, are aware of it. Certainly White Feather is anyway. But I don't see any move to bring this information to the wider public. Certainly not within the spiritualist organisations that I have contact with. In actual fact, the emphasis seems to be more on entertainment, particularly clairvoyant messages, evidential messages, and training mediums. That's fine, but where is the warning? Where is the information? Who has the courage to speak out and share the information which Spirit must know? They must know this agenda. Surely they want to bring it through to us. Surely they want mediums and instruments through whom they can impart these warnings and give direction, specific direction as to how to stop it, how to prevent it, how to change the course that man is currently set upon, and how to thwart those lower minds and energies who are working in our midst through mainstream media, through Hollywood, through paedophilia, through Satanism, through the music industry, and through other organisations, some of which are known, many of which are very secretive, to bring this Orwellian style world into being. Now, I must emphasise here that this agenda has been developing for a long time, and I'm talking perhaps centuries, because it's the old story that you don't bring in something that people are going to resist and fight against. You do it very, very slowly, rather like the awful scenario of putting a lobster into a pot and gradually turning up the heat until the lobster is boiled. If you bring something in too quickly, then people will resist it, they'll fight it. But if you convince them that it's for their own good, for their benefit, and that it's progress, then they're more likely to accept it. And I see these lies spoken daily in the press, on the radio, on the TV, by the news, media organisations, and they are following an agenda. They are following an agenda that is deliberate, calculated, and designed to bring this world into being. So Spirit know about it. They have to know about it. Because if they don't, then that brings into question for me the whole nature and framework and basis of the afterlife. If they do know about it, then that leaves only two options. One, they are either complicit in bringing it into being, which from my perspective doesn't bear thinking about, or they want to help us, they want to guide us, but they don't have sufficient outlets, channels here on earth to make this possible. Now, I'm very likely to get criticised and receive a lot of flack for this little video and for having the courage to speak out. But if I don't, who will? What mediums out there, what people, what individuals, what free thinkers, what real thinkers who claim to have a connection with spirit can fail to be aware of this agenda? Or am I living in a different world than they are? Am I seeing something they're not? Am I seeing something that you're not? I'm willing to stake my reputation as the medium instrument of white feather who has worked and demonstrated publicly for 40 years. I'm willing to stake my reputation on this. And I'm warning you now, I'm warning all of you that unless we work together, unless we wake people up, unless we awaken human consciousness, then this human race is finished, this earth is finished. Because as sure as eggs is eggs, this is going to come in, this is going to happen, this agenda unfolds by the day. And it's up to us to stop it. I'll leave it with you to think about. Thanks for listening.